Coming to you on air and online from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. This is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Hello there and welcome. Elizabeth Nakakoni is on sign language and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Let's get started. National Resistance Movement Party has expressed readiness to retain the parliamentary slot for East African Legislative Assembly in the upcoming by-elections. Now, this follows the death of Matthias Kasamba, who represented Uganda in the regional parliament since 2017. Government Chief Whip Thomas Tayebwa says the slot belonged to the ruling NRM party, warning against party members intending to run as independents. Henry Okrot reports.
In her remarks on Thursday's afternoon parliamentary sitting, Deputy Speaker of Parliament Anita Annette Among indicated that the House would hold by-elections for East African Legislative Assembly.
The notice of sitting on Monday on 26th July 2021 will be for a by-election to fill the vacancy of Uganda's representative to Yala. So I call all of you to come and exercise your constitutional right.
This communication attracted this kind of response from woman member of parliament for Namisindwa district, Sarah Kayagi.
And I thought that the rest of the shades in the house are already represented at Yala. Now the election is to take place. So I'm seeking clarification. Wouldn't it be right for the name of the flag bearer of NRM to be brought to the House and it's passed without competition?
Kayagi's argument was on grounds that the deceased Yala MP Matthias Kasamba belonged to the ruling National Resistance Movement. This prompted Deputy Speaker to cite provisions of the East African Community Treaty.
Because I'm seeing other candidates moving around with nomination forms. That's the clarification I'm seeking. Why are we having elections and yet the person who passed on was one of the members of the NRM?
Treaty 50. I also referred you to some cases that you must read for you to answer that question.
NRM Parliamentary Caucus, in a bid to replace the late Matthias Kasamba, chose former Kampala County MP James Kakoza as its flag bearer for Yala by-elections.
The only way you can be recognized as an NRM member is if you have the stamp of the Secretary General of the NRM saying you're their candidate. And we had our caucus meeting where we elected the Honorable James Kakoza. So the Secretary General of the party has already written to the Clerk of Parliament. I have a copy of the letter clearly stating that the NRM is nominating Honorable James Kakoza as the only flag bearer for the party. Any other person coming, even if they claim they are NRM, please, we don't recognize them in as far as this exercise of ERA is concerned.
In agreement with Sarah Kayagi, Thomas Tayebwa expresses readiness to retain this seat.
The sharing, the democracy in ERA is based on numerical strength. So that's why on Monday we anticipate that the Honorable Kakoza will say it through unopposed, and I believe the verification committee will be live to the facts that we must have an NRM member occupying this seat.
The Yala parliamentary slot for Uganda fell vacant following the death of NRM's Director for Mobilization, Matthias Kasamba. Elections are scheduled for Monday at the Ugandan Parliament. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Anti-riot police Thursday engaged city dwellers in running battles who had taken occupation of the streets in downtown Kampala, claiming they can no longer handle staying at home without working. And as we hear in the following report, police says any attempt to pull crowds or force your way into the city is a breach of the presidential directive to counter spread of COVID-19 pandemic and calls for action.
police mounted an operation to push out city dwellers and vendors who had made a comeback move to occupy the downtown street. Police asserts that the attempted return of vendors and street dwellers is in contravention of the presidential directives in the fight against the spread of COVID-19 pandemic.
What to do? Go home. We don't want people in town.
The operation started at City Square, spread to Arua Park, Seka Business Center, combing areas of Mini Price and Kisenyi. However, through all these hotspots, where vendors and street dwellers had converged for normal business transactions, police engaged in scuffles with those who had opened shops and the dwellers. In fierce engagements, police also conducted the arrest of those who attempted to resist. Many of the people operating saloons here at Grand Corner House claim they are among the vulnerable persons that were meant to benefit from the COVID-19 relief fund package of government, but they have never received even a penny from contracted telecom companies to handle the transactions.
Kati tulina kyakukola tuli awo tunoonya n'ekyokukola tetukitegeera. Nze ndi mukyala wa nviiri. Baatuggala tetulina yadde 10. Mukyala nabbanja ffe tetunnaba kufuna ssente yadde n'ekikumi ku masimu gaffe.
Kituleeta mu kibuga tunoonya mbeera, tunoonya survivor, tunoonya kubeerawo. Nina abaana bana, nina omukyala. Kati ffenna twetunuulira nentandika okulaba obuyisa obubi omukyala bw'alina oba obulungi neneesoosa kumbe nga kyenneesoosa njala yennuma mu nsawo nentuuka okulwanagana n'omukyala omuntu oyo alibadde ajja n'atandika okunoonya singa mbadde nina akawunga ewaka oba nga nina emmere n'alibadde sijja mu kibuga.
Ivan Juko, UBC News in Kampala.
A section of some people who escaped into the city centre, of course giving their views in as far as not staying at home is concerned, but of course that's going against the presidential directive to curb the spread of COVID-19. The Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has allayed fears over the COVID-19 relief assistance package to vulnerable Ugandans. Many of the registered beneficiaries continue asking why they have not yet received their payment. UBC TV's Robert Onyango talked to the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Gender, Agri Kiwenge, who revealed that by closure of business today, over 42,000 payments had so far been okayed and beneficiaries had pocketed their money.
The Ministry of Gender last Friday wrapped up the exercise for data entry for those eligible to receive the shillings 100,000 COVID-19 relief government assistance. However, payments are still ongoing.
So today alone, I've cleared an additional 6,366 beneficiaries.
Divisions of Kawempe and Machinde in Kampala are among those still receiving the payments.
With Kawempe having 2,974 beneficiaries cleared today, Makindye, I cleared 3,080 from Makindye alone. Mitiana had 139, Koboko 137, Kotido 33, Lugazi 1, Barara 1, Kapchora 1. So you can see that we are now doing what I call the mop-up.
According to Chibenge, details of over 80,000 beneficiaries are currently undergoing scrutiny.
The reasons some of the beneficiary submissions have been rejected by the system, we have explained. It's mainly to do with either inconsistencies in the NIN, the national identification numbers, and the telephones they have used. Because some people, I think in the absence of telephones of their own, chose to register other people's telephones.
Although government had initially indicated that those without active mobile money accounts and phones will be assisted through cash delivery, this has been revised and beneficiaries are advised to be patient.
Submit a report, and then we can also engage with our supervisors to agree how to deal with those cases. For example, if somebody cannot have a telephone registered under his or her name, is there any other option? We had initially considered the option of paying those individuals directly using the mobile facility of Post Bank. But again, with time, it was felt not safe enough to do that.
The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Gender, Agri Chibenge, however, assures the public that no monies will go unaccounted for.
We submitted yesterday to Parliament lists of all the beneficiaries. Their telephone numbers are there. If anybody wants to go and cross-check whether people received money or not, it's not about us trying to convince even pessimists that this number of people have received money. The details are there.
The ministry, which has now embarked onto the correction of the data and harmonization for payments of the pending vulnerable, they are hopeful that by close of business this week, the exercise will be sealed off. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Ray of hope there for those who have been asking whether their money will be remitted to them or not. Now let's shift our attention to the health sector, where herbal-based traditional medicines play a significant role in disease management in Africa and are widely used as alternative medicines. Now, as scientists around the world race toward finding an effective treatment and cure for COVID-19, Uganda recently approved Covidex and Covilis-1 herbs as supporting treatment for viral infections, including COVID-19. Now, UBC TV brings you a story of another researcher in Wakiso district who claims to have healed over 80 COVID-19 patients, some in critical condition.
About 20 kilometers northeast of Kampala city in Chitende is a nursery school that closed after government announced the first COVID-19 lockdown in January 2020 and has since been occupied by herbalists for 9 months now. For 7 years now, Dr. Alex Victor Biomark Togume Tuizuche of Green Gold Organic Options and Natural Remedies has been engaged in herbal medicine, and together with a group of self-perpetuating researchers have since last year been looking for solutions to the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Tugume tells UBC that they have registered 80 recoveries from COVID-19 using herbal medicine.
We have so far brought up about 82 recoveries of this pandemic, for example. Some of them were already on oxygen, some of them absconded from hospitals in ICUs, and others were still in preliminary stages.
Before discovering a remedy for COVID-19, Dr. Tuguma and colleagues made sure they acquired the virus themselves to assess its behavior.
Then I decided to, you know what we call plunge, to throw myself into the problem, and then I discover what it is like. Then that's what I did. So I made discoveries that I looked at the characteristics of the infection. I found a lot of mucus, for example.
Earlier, I met Allen Usinje, a 52-year-old mother who, before visiting Dr. Tugume, was bedridden after acquiring the disease.
52-year-old Businje Allen here in Chitende got COVID-19 this year, and she says she was treated and recovered using herbal medicine.
Yantera kadagara bwe kati muka sanikira kakachupa nangamba tokateeka kumwateeka ku nnyindo nisika bwe nasika nagenda kulya mpulira nga linyingidde mu mutwe namuno mu kifuba wansi nangamba ogenda kukorora nakorora ninkorera buli kimu kyonna ekyandi mu kifuba nekivaamu era enkeera naali bulungi nnyo nga buli omu yali andaba nga ngamba wawonye.
Wangatofa, aged 48, was also referred to Dr. Tugume after testing positive to COVID-19.
They do not give me the names of the medicine, but what I knew, they use organic.
In trying to establish the cost of treatment, Allen and Tofa surprisingly told UBC that they never paid any coin but got cured.
Nze talina yadde ennusu n'emu gye yansaba nti mpa ssente bweti oba bweti wabula yantegeeza ekintu kimu nsooka kulwana kukuwonya eby'essente tunaalaba ye abaffe abatalina bo ssente banaaba tebawona kyekibuuzo kye yambooza.
Tiyanzijjako ssente kuba namugamba sirina ssente nangamba ajangu genda kuwona tiyanzijjako n'ekikumi musajja wattu nanjanjaba nimpona.
Dr. Tugume lashed out at private hospitals, charging exorbitant fees, with some asking huge deposits before admission.
That one is a straight indicator that somebody who is going to do the therapy is not sure of what he's going to do. Because why would there be the doubt? They just give you, then you go and look for the money sometimes when you don't have. Yeah. And we have found that at times people give more than we would have asked initially. The range would have been between 10,000 to 200,000, depending on the gravity of the ailing patient, because this matches directly with the amount of medicine that this person is going to consume.
Tugume, who is also the acting national chairman of National Council of Traditional Healers and Herbalists Association of Uganda, Nakotha, appreciates efforts by other researchers like Dr. Ogwang.
For example, like what Professor Ogwanga came out with, we completely agreed with it because of the ingredients. The good thing about him is he has our spirit that he could not hide what he's doing around.
Although he commends President Museveni for standing strong to face the pandemic, Dr. Tugume believes government has not done enough to support their efforts.
Government has not moved an inch in helping us, because we are supposed to, for example, have land put aside. So we have been trying to modify the products of plants. But the plants themselves we are using, we are trying to bring around seemingly extinct species. We have lost many species of plants in the pretext of modernity, especially when people were moving around making modern farms.
As the country struggles to acquire enough vaccines for Ugandans, Dr. Tugume says the only solution is maintaining the standard operating procedures set by government and the Minister of Health.
Precautions have been spelled out very, very well by the President of this country. I just want to salute him, because many coward leaders would have run away from this situation. And we give a credit also to the Minister of Health for the guidelines they gave. It has actually helped. If somebody stuck to those guidelines spelled out by both the government and the Minister of Health, it can do a great deal.
Dr. Alex Victor Biomark Tugume Tuizuche, who is also a civil engineer by profession, holds a degree in naturopathic medicine from Italy. He is a teacher, lecturer, and an administrator of medicine. Bernard Higa, UBC News, Chitende.
Thanks, Bernard, for that story there. And of course, Dr. Tugume there doing something that most people today would think as an impossibility, that is intentionally getting COVID-19 in order to test the efficacy of his concoction. Brave man there. Let's go to Gulu now, where police in Gulu City has opened a general inquiry file to investigate a video circulating on social media showing musician Joseph Mayanja, commonly known as Dr. Jose Chameleon, performing in front of a crowd of revelers at one of the happening spots known as Bus Terminal. Now, according to the Aswa River Regional Police spokesperson Ongom David Mudong, police raided the place at around 8 p.m. on Tuesday night after being tipped off about the show. Take a watch.
In the video, musician Dr. Joseph Chameleon is seen performing some of his songs to the amusement of the revelers. At some point, he can be seen having body contact with the lady. After the video started circulating on social media on Tuesday, the police have opened a general inquiry file to investigate the singer and the people seen in the video floating the presidential directives on COVID-19.
A comprehensive investigation that will call upon very many witnesses. So therefore, we don't want to single out anybody else. Whether you have seen Chameleon or you have seen Baby Cool in the whatever, or you have seen anybody in that video, leave it to investigations.
According to the Aswa River Regional Police spokesperson, Ongom David Mudong, the police raided the place at around 8 p.m. on Tuesday night after being tipped off about the show. According to Aswa River Region Police spokesperson Ongom David Mudong, the police raided the place at around 8 p.m. on Tuesday night after being tipped off about the show.
I stepped in there at around 0800 hours. After our investigators getting the right information with evidence. One, according to that video, the participants have violated the current SOPs of social distance, because in the video you will see there was nothing like social distance. They also violated the SOPs, not putting on mask. You can as well also see, watch that video, there was no mask. Three, they were beyond the curfew time required. And lastly, there is no any such arrangement for now in this COVID-19 pandemic, which is encouraged.
Efforts to contact the singer have been futile, since the singer is believed to be staying in a Choli Inn hotel in the company of his brothers Palaso and Wizo, and another musician known as King Zaha, who is in the company of a young woman believed to be Rachel Kent, the daughter of a renowned UPDF general. The police have promised to bring to book people seen in the video for violating President Yoweri Museveni's directives on the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Because it is going to send out a very bad signal to other members of the public.
Irene Faith Nantongo, Omagol, in Gulu.
What happened in Gulu. Now, news just in indicate that fire gutted one of the houses in the corridor of Namamve, Kampala North, where a 122 kilovolt transmission line causing the transmission wire to break and drop, fatally wounding 2 people in Kifumbira slum, Kamocha. Now the incident is being investigated, and what you're seeing on the screen, that is what actually happened, fire gutting some structures there. Now earlier, police fire trucks could not access the place because of so many structures in the area and a drainage channel, and those are the pictures. As you can see, the police truck trying to extinguish the fire, but of course not being able to because of the structures in place and a drainage channel. That is a developing story. I will definitely be updating you when and as we get more information, but yes, that is a fire that gutted one of the houses in the corridor of Namamve, Kampala North, a 122 kilovolt transmission line causing the transmission wire to break and drop, fatally wounding 2 people in Kifumbira slum, Kamocha. Now the incident is currently being investigated, but what we also know is that earlier on, police fire trucks could not access the place because of so many structures and a drainage channel. Those are the pictures there. Very, very sad incident. But as I said, we'll be updating you, and tomorrow in our early morning programs, we'll be giving you the details as to what could have caused that fire, and also finding out if there are fatalities involved. Now let's go to Karamoja sub-region, where a notorious warrior, Chuchu Peter Lokiru, a resident of Rupa sub-county in Moroto district, has surrendered to the UPDF that's leading a manhunt for cattle rustlers and inmates who escaped from Moroto prison with over 27 guns. Chuchu is among the network of armed gangs that have been causing mayhem and killing people using illegal guns in the region. His surrender is a major boost towards closing in on the remaining warriors at large.
He has been their leader, right? Very well. The whole of Karamoja, including Kenya.
A 40-year-old Chuchu Peter Lokiru, resident of Rupa sub-county, Moroto district, who has been coordinating terror activities in Karamoja, in the Turkana land of Kenya and in South Sudan with other gangs of warriors in possession of legal guns, has surrendered himself to the UPDF 3rd Division Commander, Brigadier General Joseph Barikudembe.
Brought back his guns to his leaders.
Who was first arrested in 2009 during the first disbursement. He was court-martialed and sentenced to Rozira prison for 9 years. After serving his sentence, Chuchu returned home, but upon his arrival, he found his home in existence and had nothing to start a new life. He was left with no option but to resume terror activities. Since then, UPDF started the manhunt of him. However, in November 2019, he surrendered the gun but remained on the run. According to the UPDF 3rd Division Commander, Brigadier General Joseph Barikudembe.
We're also looking for him because his name started coming up, and I remembered, oh, again Chuchu, he did not reform. So we decided to look for him. We again identified where he was sleeping. Now he decided to abandon the homes. But we would go to the home one by one, hunting for him.
Shortly after introducing Operation Usalama kwa Wote in Karamoja City, Chuchu's days became numbered because the communities he operated in were entirely involved in identifying his footsteps. Chuchu was left with no alternative but to surrender to the manhunt.
We said no, we need him alive. If he doesn't surrender, let's meet him in the field.
Now that he has handed over his other gun to the UPDF, which was his source of survival, Chuchu is requesting for support from the government.
It is really now only that the support to support these people who bring their guns peacefully, so that those ones who are still in the bush, they will have that access of coming alone without even any fear.
Chuchu promised to convince his other counterparts to surrender guns to the forces, and some have started doing so.
So his work is going to synthesize and talk to his friends, those ones who are still in the bush, to say, this is how I went through to reach to these people.
Kudembe says illegal possession of firearms causes insecurity to the community, and the onus is on the locals to cooperate with the government forces and provide leading crews to the enemy hideouts.
And the solution is within the communities, because they see these people, and at least people have started cooperating, though not at the pace we need it. They are tired of these criminals, they are scared, but they can at least help the army to uproot these criminals that are roaming around.
The State Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Agnes Nandutu, says many people in the region have been complaining over Chuchu.
In all the districts I have visited, Achuchu is on the lips of everybody. This Achuchu has been the Koni of Karamoja. He's the ringleader. But good enough, he has come to us peacefully and surrendered his guns.
She welcomed his idea to surrender to the forces.
To use him as a gospel preacher to the rest. He has also accepted to give us all the leads to his friends because he has not been operating alone. This man is known even in Kenya. He's the ringleader. So it's good he has come and he's going to help us to convince others to come and surrender their guns to us.
Maureen Yiga, Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
And that is a good story there, of course, when you're a cattle rustler and you surrender, then you help government to trace those others who are still in that vice. Let's have a look now at what happened decades ago today in world history.
Today in history.
On 22nd July 2003, former Iraq President Saddam Hussein's two sons were killed after a 3-hour firefight with U.S. forces. Uday Hussein, 39, and Qusay, 37 years, were killed in the northern city of Mosul. An informer's tip led U.S. Special Forces to a house in which they were both staying. A battle ensued, and after which Americans entered the house and found the bodies of the two brothers, as well as of that Qusay's 14-year-old son, and they were buried in a cemetery near the city of Tikrit at their father's birthplace.
We've cut and reduced our MTN Momo withdrawal rates. Now you can withdraw mobile money at the lowest rates. You also get MTN Senchu points when you deposit, send, and withdraw MTN mobile money. Visit our Momo agents countrywide and withdraw mobile money at our reduced rates from 1st May 2021. Everywhere you go, MTN.
As the financial year 2020-2021 draws to an end, URA has put measures in place to facilitate taxpayers to file their returns and pay taxes within the set deadline. All our offices across the country and the URA Contact Center shall remain open to provide extra support to our esteemed taxpayers. Additionally, we have extended our contact center service hours from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Friday, and from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays and public holidays. In light of the COVID-19 risks, we encourage taxpayers to reach us through our improved contact center and other online platforms instead of making physical visits to our offices. For online support, please reach us through our toll-free lines 0800 117 000 or 0800 217 000. Email services@ura.go.ug. Website ura.go.ug. Social media: Facebook, URA page, Twitter @URA Uganda. URA Customs Help Tool, help.ura.go.ug/login. URA appreciates all taxpayers who have duly fulfilled their obligations. Stay safe and let us all observe the standard operating procedures to prevent further spread of the COVID-19 virus. Stay safe as we develop Uganda together. Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
The Universal Periodic Review, UPR, is a unique process under the United Nations. It involves peer review of the human rights records of all UN member states every 4 years. The ultimate aim of the UPR is to help improve on the human rights situation in all countries through technical assistance and cooperation. Uganda will be reviewed in January 2022. This is an opportunity to raise international advocacy on Uganda's human rights situation. The National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders Uganda is coordinating all CSOs to participate in the CSO alternative reporting process in liaison with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. For more information, email info@hrdcoalition.ug or call 0772 484 504.
.35 after 10 in the studios of UBC TV, and this is News Tonight. Now let's move on. Vice President Jessica Lupo has challenged her incoming Principal Private Secretary to follow in the footsteps of his predecessor to ensure that he upholds the pillars of his office in pursuit of government objectives. Alex Kakoza, the new PPS, takes over from his predecessor Lutaya Chivumbi, who retires from his role after serving his tenure under 2 vice presidents.
It has been a time of serving the country with challenges, but also with numerous opportunities. During my tenure of service as a human being, I could have made mistakes along the way, but these were not deliberate. Equally, in the course of duty, I could have hurt some of my colleagues. Please note that there was nothing personal. It was the dictates of duty. Therefore, forgive me, as I also forgive you, those who have hurt me, well knowing that duty work demanded so.
I intend to pick a lot of experience from Mr. Chivumbi, and I want to thank you, Mr. Chivumbi, for the tips you have already given me and the service to your country. I intend to continue using you, even in your retirement, to guide me on how to do my work better.
Please know that you'll be missed. Best wishes and happiness and success in your other new assignment in serving our mother country, Uganda. We shall remain ever be of assistance to you and seek your professionalism, input whenever required.
But as you may also appreciate, the budget belongs to His Excellency the President. It is his budget. The Minister of Finance facilitates it on his behalf. So we are the ones who must ensure that the budget performs and report to him. Together with the Office of the Prime Minister and in line with the pillar of cohesion, I am sure we shall be able to achieve this. Because when we follow the money of government, how it's being used, then you are pursuing the idea of service delivery. So those are the pillars, Mr. Kakoza, which this office also, Office of the Vice President, is also using to pursue the objectives of government in this 2021-2026 government. We have all been given this responsibility by His Excellency the President, and I would like again to remind the members of the public that we shall not let the President down, and we shall not let the people of Uganda down.
Vice President Jessica Lupo ending that report there. Now, Machinde Grade 1 Magistrate Court has charged and remanded one Kagwa Francis, resident of Nansana Zone B in Wakiso District, with 1 count of rape and another of aggravated robbery. Kagwa appeared in court before Magistrate Rona Tukundane for plea taking. Prosecution led by Counsel Adongo Harriet, after charge, informed court that inquiries are still ongoing, thus asking court for more time. Prosecution alleges that on 8th March 2021, Kagwa Francis at Nyanama in Wakiso District had unlawful knowledge of raping Nancy Mbwahadija without her consent. It also alleges that on the same date, Kagwa Francis stole 60 million Ugandan shillings and before or immediately after used a deadly weapon to wit unknown substance on the said Nasimbwa Hadija. Magistrate Rona Tukundani adjourned this matter until 8th August 2021 for mention. Minister for General Duties and the focal point Minister for Sustainable Development Goals, Justin Kasule Lumumba, has urged countries to follow Uganda's SDGs experience. In her opening remarks at the virtual global conference organized by the SDG Center for Africa, based in Kigali, Rwanda, Lumumba called for adoption of unique opportunities for making a lifetime difference in the lives of citizens, irrespective of countries. Now, this year's conference is under the theme Africa 2030 SDGs within social boundaries, leaving no one behind.
Front-runner country in the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals with many good examples. According to the Minister for Special Duties in the Office of the Prime Minister, Justin Kasule Lumumba, Uganda has many good examples from which other countries can learn from.
Roadmap, which will be launched in August this year, shows that Uganda's third national development plan is over 90% aligned to the global goals. All of these and many more are some of the good examples from which I encourage other countries to learn from us.
Despite the challenges in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, Lumumba urges all other countries to follow Uganda's SDGs experience.
I also call on the implementation teams in Uganda, led by the SDG Secretariat, to continue learning and benchmarking from other countries to create more synergy. I would also like to encourage the SDG Center for Africa to partner with and support more African countries to adopt the continental SDG monitoring and reporting M&R system.
The Minister for Finance and Economic Planning in the Republic of Rwanda, His Excellency Dr. Uziel Ndagijimana, who officially launched the agenda of the SDGs, said this was the opportunity for them to deeply consider the economy of Africa.
To accelerate the achievement of our national, regional, and global ambitions, we need to learn from one another, and this conference is an opportunity for us to deeply reflect on the persistent low human development in Africa, issues of rising poverty, hunger, and lack of demographic transition, among others.
Lumumba added that the government of Uganda views the challenges, which include COVID-19 pandemic, as a time to deeply reflect on how far the country has come and where it's going.
Some African countries, Uganda has made good progress in the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, and a lot of this has been hinged on collaboration with different stakeholders and partners.
This year's virtual conference aims at bringing together leaders from across the globe to share candid perspectives on the SDGs progress across the African continent. Jane Yuramcha, Helen Barbara Gizamba, UBC News.
To Mubende now, where a land wrangle in Kitenga sub-county, Mwekula, South Mubende, is threatening more than 2,000 residents to be left homeless. Now, these are in two local councils of Njagazi and Gogonya. We have more in this report.
The situation in Kitenga sub-county, Mwekula South constituency and Mubende district is getting tense by the day, following a land wrangle that is threatening to leave thousands homeless. Trouble is from ownership of land in Njagazi and Gogonya villages that is claimed by Francis Katende and the late Christopher Obeya. Mubende Resident District Commissioner Mary Nyakwera weighs in on this matter.
The most current one is the land of Katende in Gogonya, where unknown people are believed to have come and settled in March this year and are just giving Mzee Katende headache and problems on his land. Mzee Katende has a title for this land. And these fresh occupants of his land are doing it illegally. There has been an outstanding conflict between Mzee Katende and the late Obeya's family. This conflict is in court, and the court issued an injunction which is very outstanding. The court order is still valid, which restricts the two parties to stay where they have been. I will continue to guide you in that direction, that this court injunction must be respected. The Katende group must stay where it has been, and the Obeya group must also stay where they have been.
The district chairperson calls for calm and warns those that are wrongfully evicting people.
Those people, they must report them. If someone brings those people, they must report them that these are my workers, they have come to work for me, and they must come and bring, we must see them whether they are good people or they are criminals. It's when we are going to afford this problem of gangs.
The land question in Uganda continues to dominate public domain, but government is stern on ensuring only the right persons occupy land.
Land wrangle still in the news. We'll now take another break. We'll return with the business news.
In efforts to improve quality assurance and Uganda's competitiveness as a tourist destination, Uganda Tourism Board is set to undertake a nationwide grading and classification exercise of hotel and accommodation facilities. As a member of the East African community, Uganda subscribes to the East African Grading and Classification Criteria, a system denoted by stars ranging from 1 to 5. The grading and classification exercise will be crowned by the awarding of star ratings to facilities found compliant to the EAC minimum standards. This is therefore a call to all accommodation and facility owners and managers to register and get licensed by UTB as a requirement and get ready for participation. For more information, visit www.utb.go.ug or email qualityassurance@utb.go.ug for details. Uganda Tourism Board, promoting tourism together.
Echa COVID-19 kijja kugwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at what's happening in the world of business. And Makerere University College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology has installed a brand new scanning electronic microscope to enhance research in the country. Let's have a look at that story.
You can actually start seeing particles.
The 2 billion brand new scanning electronic microscope installed by Makerere University College of Engineering, Design, Arts and Technology can be used by forensic and ballistic experts during the crime scene at a short time. Principal investigator, who's also the Makerere University Chair of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Professor John Baptist Chirabira, explains what extra work this electronic microscope can perform to researchers in the country.
For forensics, it can be able to identify those samples which have been picked from the crime scene. So it could be a piece of hair which you want to corroborate with the suspect's hair. It could be a blood sample which you want to compare genes with another. It could also be gunpowder. And also, you can also be able to determine which gun this cartridge came from if you pick all these samples from the crime scene.
Vice-Chancellor Professor Barnabas Nawangwe thanked government's contribution towards research innovation at the university.
$800,000 just one equipment is a very big investment for a country like Uganda. And it is just one of 4 such equipment on the African continent. I'm told 2 of them are in South Africa and another one in Uganda. So we have the 4th one. What that means, the principal saying we can do a few things. We can actually do a million things with this equipment. All researchers who are researching in all those areas that they both have talked about now have no reason why they have to be limited by equipment. They don't have to travel anywhere.
Presiding over the commissioning of the electronic microscope, Minister for Science and Technology, Dr. Monica Musenero, represented by Senior Research Associate Dr. David Seruka, says this state-of-the-art microscope is the first of its kind in Eastern, Central and Sub-Saharan Africa. However, he revealed that with the acquisition of this microscope, government will no longer facilitate researchers abroad, but will come to Makerere University for testing of its specimens.
One no longer needs to travel like you have mentioned. We don't need to go very far. We just need to find room within what we already have in the machine that we have acquired. This equipment is therefore a big breakthrough for not only SEDAT, but the whole country. It is a central facility that will be used by many partners like mentioned. We expect many products analyzed and processed using this equipment.
Joseph Bule, Helen Barbara, reporting for UBC TV News.
Sports news now. And after a long wait as a result of postponement due to COVID-19, the Tokyo 2020 Olympics are finally here. The 32nd Olympiad gets underway on Friday morning with Uganda in the limelight as rower Kathleen Noble is in action. John Barnes Centamo reports.
The 32nd Olympiad gets underway in less than 5 hours from now in Tokyo, Japan, where about 206 nations have sent participants. Uganda is one of those with 25 participants, of whom there are 13 ladies that are ready to achieve success at the world's biggest sports spectacle.
As a woman representative, I feel very excited and happy that we have 13 of our representatives being the female. So that means that there is really an improvement in the life or in the gender sensitivity in our country, because we see the girl child progressing in all sectors. So I want to commend all the girl children out there and all the female persons out there to engage in every sector and ensure that they develop their talents without fear or favor.
The mood in the country is low-key as the COVID-19 lockdown continues, but to sports fans, the games come in handy to ease the boredom.
Yeah, I think we do feel it because we have nothing to watch. Football is the football season is done,
we are waiting for a new season. So what is entertaining at home is going to be Olympics. Everybody is waiting for the games.
Uganda's cast of stars at these Olympics, including Joshua Cheptegei, Jacob Kiplimo and Stephen Kiprotich, raises medal optimism amongst many Ugandans.
Uganda is a notch higher now within the East African region, and we are catching up with our brothers in Kenya and Ethiopia as well, within the fraternity of athletics, and this is really good. The government has started investments on athletics. Of course, it has invested a lot. Look at the Terrier Training Center. Although it is not, it has not reached completion, but of course, I know very soon government will be finalizing on it.
I have visited the homes of Stephen, of Cheptegei, and others. What powers them are the hubs of Mount Elgon, which they have grown up eating and drinking like I've done. That's why maybe I'm a Rastaman. Now, these hubs are so powerful. In the Sebei area, that kind of drink is called lakwek. It's kind of drink herbal, but mixed with honey.
In Japan, the already arrived athletes, especially the boxing trio of Kathleen Nanziri, David Semuju and Chadil Musabogi, has been prepared well by the coaching staff led by Patrick Lihanda.
I've been here for like almost, it's coming into 1.5 months. Boys have been training from Osaka. We're there for like 30 days. My training was good, and boys are, at least we have changes from, according to what I saw from Uganda. Our boxers have improved, they have strength. We had some challenges, but as of today, they are all fine, just ready for the tournament.
Rower Kathleen Noble will be the first to test action when she competes in the single scull category on Friday morning. Uganda has been at the Olympics since 1956 and garnered 7 medals, including 2 gold, 3 silver and 2 bronze medals. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
It's coming to 2 minutes to the top of the hour in the studios of UBC TV. We finally come to the end of our second edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. Thank you so much for having kept us company on sign language. It has been Elizabeth Nakakoni, and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma wishing you a blessed night. I'll see you tomorrow, but let me leave you with Kutesa Mili with the forecast for tomorrow. Good night.
Once again on UBC, Kutesa Mili with your weather update. We are experiencing sunny intervals mixed with hazy conditions, mainly in the southern part of our country, but the northern is still experiencing light showers. This is due to the ridging over the tip of South Africa that is pushing in the hazy conditions towards our country, mainly in the southern part of our country, but the northern is still having light showers due to the rain belt that is maintained in the northern part of our country. Tomorrow morning, though, we expect to wake up with sunny intervals in most parts of our country, apart from some few areas like across Arua and those ones in the islands of Lake Shores. Afternoon hours, they expect a pickup of light showers in most parts of our country, apart from some few areas in the southwestern of our country and towards the shores. That is expected to continue with sunny intervals. Temperature raise up to 30 degrees of maximum in northern part of our region and across Kasese, but in our capital city Kampala with a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius, cover the highlands with the lowest of 26 degrees Celsius. You is moving out of our country touring other cities across the globe. We are forecasting light showers across Mombasa and Moscow with a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius in Mombasa. Though Moscow is going to be inclusive with the thunder showers. Dubai with the sunny intervals with a maximum of 42 degrees Celsius. New York and London are expected to have sunny conditions. Thanks for tuning on UBC. I remain Kutesa Mili. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow.